Greetings, everybody. This is Terracin on Scooby331's channel. He will be with us shortly. This is the Friday Night Chaos stream. All right, baby brother,
Yeah.
turn it down.
Turn what down?
It's feedbacking.
Turn what down?
Your volume for your computer
Oh,
to hear us because it's feedbacking. I can hear myself.
now.
That should be better. All right, I don't hear it as bad.
I thought you were going to can actually hear my fan now.
Yay.
It is July 12th, 2019. So I have with me tonight, of course, my baby brother, an American Celt.
Hey.
And I have with us Fish.
That's me.
So if anyone remembers, we had him on a Saturday night, and we played a game of Top That Cartoon. Did you enjoy that night, Fish?
I very much did. It was very fun.
Yeah, we don't play Top That Cartoon like we used to.
Oh.
Well, maybe I can drag you on tomorrow night while Toons Are Me are on.
I can try to make it.
He's very personable. He's really nice.
No, well, that's good. Good on him.
All right. Hey, Memes, how are you? All right, so I didn't pull up too much, but I do have some Florida man stories. The first one I have, unfortunately, is in my own backyard. 2 arrested in online dating scam. An undercover operation has landed 2 people in jail accused of luring victims through an online dating app in order to rob them. Gainesville police arrested 39-year-old Travaris Wilson and 24-year-old Leila Johnson. Detectives say both suspects conspired to rob people by luring them to Oak Glade apartments promising sex. Police found Wilson in possession of narcotics and a gun. He is a convicted felon. Wilson confessed to plotting the robberies with Johnson. Both have been charged with conspiracy to commit an armed robbery.
Yeesh. What a story.
Let's see, what else do we have? Ooh, here's a good one. If it'll let me click it. Another one in my backyard. A Gainesville music instructor is under investigation accused of lewd behavior involving a minor.
Oh, goodness.
Gainesville music instructor Tobin Wagstaff, who achieved local fame for appearing on the show Extreme Home Makeover, is under investigation after a sworn complaint was filed against him for lewd and lascivious behavior involving a child. Mind you, if he's the one that got his house done or redone here in town, I drive past his house often. 39-year-old Tobin Wagstaff has not been arrested as charges are being investigated by the state attorney's office. State Attorney Bill Cervone says they're aware of the complaint but still must interview the persons who made the complaint and other potential witnesses before charges can be filed. Cervone says their goal is to be at a decision-making point on filing charges within 30 to 60 days. The sworn complaint states a 13-year-old was touched inappropriately by Wagstaff approximately twice a month from January to October of 2018. The child also said Wagstaff first touched her inappropriately in January 2018 after pushing her to the ground. The complaint details the victim believed he was drunk at the time. Wagstaff had DUI arrests in April and June of 2018. The girl also says Wagstaff forced her to sleep in his bed with him and that she would have to stop him from trying to take her clothes off. Gainesville police interviewed Wagstaff on June 27th, where the sworn complaint claims he lied about the victim ever having slept in his bed. He then later admitted to that, but said he never touched her inappropriately. It was unintentional. We reached out to Wagstaff for comment, and by text, he referred us to his attorney, who over the phone says they're denying the allegation, and the paper will follow up on the story as the state attorney's office makes their decision on potential charges.
Yuck.
Let's see if there's anything else. That's a new month. Let's check out GainesvilleSun.com. Ooh. Let's see here. That one got that one. No, don't want sports. Video. Come on, scroll on down. Scroll on down. A video was trying to play, so it wouldn't let me scroll on down.
Oy vey.
Have any of you seen the live-action Kim Possible movie?
Oh dear God!
I forgot that happened. No, I haven't seen it. I wish I could keep forgetting.
I saw Nostalgic Critics review yesterday. They ruined her.
No, I would imagine.
Because there was at one point she met someone who was who was better at athletics than her, and she's crying over it. She was jealous because she never met anyone that was better than her before. And Nostalgia Critic had one of the best burns I've ever heard of. Wow, would you like another plate, or are you too full of yourself?
Oh, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember that one.
So we know how with the SJWs, they're wanting everything, all statues to do with our Confederacy past to be removed because it's racist. DeSantis, my governor, I voted for you, asshole, asked Capitol officials to remove Smith's statue.
Remove who?
The Smith statue. Confederate General Edmund Kirby Smith was born in St. Augustine in 1824 and graduated from the U.S. Military Academy in 1845. In 1861, he resigned from the Army and joined the Confederate forces.
So that's a sin.
Tallahassee Governor Ron DeSantis formally asked U.S. Capitol officials Wednesday to remove the statue of Confederate General, which has been part of the state's display for almost 100 years. The letter to the Capitol's architect is the latest step in replacing Edmund Kirby Smith's statue with one honoring educator and civil rights pioneer Mary McLeod Bethune. DeSantis sent the letter on the 144th anniversary of Bethune's birth. Dr. McLeod Bethune's statue will represent the best of who we are as Floridians to visitors from around the world in our nation's capital, DeSantis said. Her legacy endures and will continue to inspire future generations. Well, see, one thing fucking DeSantis doesn't realize is that also General Kirby Smith Helped found Gainesville.
They should replace his statue with a Florida man. Maybe one holding a Florida time zone clock.
Was that lady's name Buffoon?
Bethune. Bethune.
Oh, okay.
So is this a Democratic governor?
No, he's Republican.
Ah. When did you vote for him?
This past election.
Okay, I don't live in Florida. I don't know when that was.
A year ago.
Was this before or after you had that interview at that anti-Trump protest?
Before.
So you voted for a Republican?
Yes, I voted for a Republican.
Before you left the Democrats?
Yeah, because I vote on issues, not on party.
True.
Also, the first school from elementary pretty much up through high school here in Gainesville is the Kirby Smith School. It's also home to our school board.
Are you sure he's a Republican, or did a Florida man draw two legs on his D?
He is a Republican. Governor Ron DeSantis is a Republican. The statue of Bethune is expected to be on display next year. It wasn't immediately clear why it has taken so long for the letter to be sent. Florida legislature last year approved the statue switch, and soon after, Lake County Historical Society agreed to take the Smith statue when it was removed from the U.S. Capitol. At least it's going to a historical society instead of being melted down. And the statue is being sculpted in Italy. Really? Why not buy a local artist? Debate has since swirled around the statue coming to Lake County. 7 of the county's municipalities passed resolutions opposing it. Statue oppositions argue that Smith, a Confederate soldier, doesn't belong in Lake County and opens old wounds inflicted by slavery. He was from St. Augustine. It shouldn't matter where, as long as it's going to a historical society, because regardless of what people want to think, our history happened. I am getting so tired of people trying to change history. I mean, even our history books are getting rewritten. I mean, come on.
It's always important to remember where you came from.
Well, you know, I don't remember who said it, but, you know, they are the ones that said history is written to keep us from repeating it.
That's a very good quote.
I mean, all history is, you know, yes, of course, people would be like, well, some of it was written by women. Yes, some of it was written by women. So, you know, but that doesn't always make it her story. It's history, meaning the past. And we need to learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
But Lake County Historical Museum curator Bob Grenier said he already found some ties and is working on more. He also said he'll put the statue in the correct context and bring balance to the museum. Meanwhile, proponents accuse those who are against the statue of attempting to erase history, which I completely agree. When she arrives in Washington, D.C., Bethune will be the first Black American honored in the Statuary Hall collection, which includes 2 representatives from each state. Having the first state-commissioned statue of an African American placed in the National Statuary Hall and the school she founded to continue its mission, Bethune-Cookman University, should inspire all Floridians a great sense of pride, said Dr. Clifford Porter, a BCU vice president. Smith has been among 12 statues of former Confederate soldiers or politicians in the hall. Smith's statue has been in the hall since 1922, when it joined one representing John Gorey, an early developer of refrigeration and air conditioning, which had been placed there by Florida in 1914. Efforts to replace Smith's statue began after 9 people were killed in a 2015 at the Black Church in Charleston, South Carolina, by white supremacists promoting a re-evaluation of Confederate memorials across the country. It's history, people. Leave the shit alone. There's other pieces of public land you can put your shit on. Lawmakers in 2016 approved replacing the Smith statue and organized a panel to recommend a replacement. Bethune was among 3 famed Floridians: environmental author Marjory Stoneman Douglas and Publix founder George Jenkins were the others. Recommended to the 2017 legislature. The lawmakers got stuck and couldn't agree on who to honor. Last year, though, Bethune emerged as the overwhelming choice. Well, if you're going to choose an educator, how about bringing our education levels back up instead of letting kids out of school too fucking early? How about, they go back to school for 8 hours a day like I did? You went into school school started at 7:30 a.m. You didn't get out until 3 o'clock. And this whole shit of, we let young elementary school kids out because of their attention span. Nah, bitch, let them get a goddamn nap. It's been proven that if a child gets a nap, they are more clear-headed and pay attention better. Especially if you do it right after lunch. Let's see here. What else do we have?
I've got a California story. Their governor signed into law the bill that would give illegals free health care.
Do what now?
The California governor signed into law the bill that would give illegal immigrants free health care.
Hey, you know what? It's going to be one of those illegal immigrants that's going to cost him his position. They don't need free health care. I need free fucking health care. I was born here. I was raised here. I've never been out of the goddamn country. Give me health care.
Yeah. It's funny that California's doing this despite they have so many homeless people. Medieval diseases are on the rise there. Hell, they're at risk of the Black Plague popping back up.
There's always the risk of the Black Plague popping up.
Well, yeah, but the point of saying that is that they're at a much higher risk.
Well, they've had the pretty much, it's been Texas, Arizona, Nevada, and California have all had, small upcrops of the bubonic plague, mostly in animals, very rarely in humans.
The point is that risk is getting much worse.
Well, yeah, we needed to, we need California to be removed from the rest of us.
Apparently,
Either
Nature
give it
tried to do that not recently. It didn't work out.
Either give it back to, Mexico, which they probably don't want it, or, instead of trying to save these people during an earthquake, just let it happen.
There are some Mexicans that do want California back. There was a what was it? Make California Mexico again.
Sounds good to me. I'm still, oh, here we go. This is a sweet little story. It's meet the 10-year-old whose phone call saved 44 baby turtles.
Ooh.
Samantha Cole took matters into her own hands, grabbing her mom's paw and calling Gumbo Limbo Nature Area when eggs began to hatch in the afternoon sun. This is in Boca Raton. Samantha Cole, just 10 years old, she'd never seen sea turtles hatch, but when she saw adults scooping baby turtles out of the nest at South Beach Park on Tuesday, she remembered what she'd learned at summer camp. We should call Gumbo Limbo, she asked. Then, without waiting for an answer, she grabbed her mom's phone and made the call. Her quick thinking saved 44 of the 68 baby turtles in the nest and gave adults around her a lesson in what to do in the future in that situation. One man, Samantha said, had put the turtle on his flip-flop and carried it in the ocean. It was so weird. Others poured water bottles into the nest, hoping to keep the turtles cool in the sand, which Pinecrest school student described as feeling like it was 137 degrees. A few people even picked up the hatchlings to take photos. I do understand that they were trying to help, but they weren't really helping, she said. Turtle nests are common in the area along Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast beaches. They're usually marked with poles and tape so beachgoers can avoid disturbing them. The eggs, however, usually hatch at night, with the turtles finding their way to the Atlantic. Tuesday was different. Samantha was at the beach with her mother and her 13-year-old cousin. They had arrived when she saw adults digging baby turtles out of the nest. She had learned at Gumbo Limbo, a summer camp, that the nest was part of a research study for Florida Atlantic University. After getting the call, two Gumbo Limbo officials came racing up the beach on ATVs with sand flying, Samantha says. They told the lifeguards that they should not let people touch the nest. Of course, nobody wanted to admit that they were disturbing the nest. Luckily, one lifeguard had collected what eggs and turtles he could in a bucket, and even the ones he assumed were dead, put them in the shade so that they wouldn't get that 110-degree heat exposure we're having right now. Pulse stayed until the lifeguards plowed back to the center on their ATV. She said she was thrilled to play a role in saving the turtles. Since the rescue, Cole's friends have asked her questions about marine centers. My friend even texted me that it was a once-in-a-lifetime moment and that it's very rare to see, she said. Which I will agree. I've been to many, many beaches at night, and at least here in Florida. And I've never seen turtles hatch. Never.
Me neither.
I thought you said 4 hatch. I was like, I've got 4 names for them.
No, I've never seen any hatch. She's told them what to do if they saw turtles hatching on the beach, she said, adding, I really want to be a sea turtle person that saves sea turtles when I get older. That means she's going to work at SeaWorld. For now, she has her 4th grade fall at Pinecrest to focus on.
Well,
right.
bless her heart.
Well, I've reached my limit. That's okay.
Limit of what?
Fucking Gainesville Sun online gives you a limit of how much you can view without having a subscription.
Oh, I hate that.
Let's see here. We actually have an issue with tree frogs.
Oh no.
An issue with tree frogs?
Yes.
What's wrong with them? Figure they'd be great at eating mosquitoes.
That's what I tell people, but it's the fact that they're Cuban tree frogs.
What, are they communists?
They're a nuisance. They eat other frogs.
Oh no.
The fuck? How big are these fuckers?
There you. Oh goodness. Oh. Yeah. Giant, terrifying monster frogs.
Are they big enough to chew on a Cuban cigar?
I'm looking for a recent. Excuse me. A recent article.
Do they come here as refugees?
No, they arrive in the refugee shit.
So it's like, well, yes, but actually no.
Well, if them little bastards make it to dry land. Which is why if I'm ever in, at Miami Beach and I see them coming up on shore, I'm going to block them bastards.
So if I understand right,
I'll help the border guards.
So the issue with them is that they eat the frogs, they eat mosquitoes, right?
I don't know.
I think the issue is that they're an invasive species.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but there has to be something that makes them an invasive species.
It's the fact that what makes it an invasive species is the fact that, one, they're not native. Mm-hmm. 2, they breed like mad. 3, they eat more than they need to. 4, they are hard to get rid of. Pretty much, if it's not like here, we have a really, really bad problem with iguanas and ball pythons, or pretty much any type of python, because people are like, oh, the snake has gotten too big, I can't take care of it anymore, and they just chuck it in the fucking woods.
Oh, I hate that.
And these snakes are naturally designed to eat pretty much anything that goes in front of them. Well, they're not native to here, so they end up eating our squirrels, our shrews. They end up eating anything native.
Your alligators.
Well, actually, usually the alligators win.
Huh.
The picture I saw earlier, the alligator had that damn snake in its mouth. It wasn't going anywhere. All right. Invasive Cuban tree frogs pose nuisance to residents. An invasive frog species in north central Florida is eating up the native population. These ones eat other frogs as well. The Cuban tree frog migrated from South Florida to Alachua County in the past 20 years. The frog can grow up to 5 inches in length, 3 inches more than the native green tree frog. Because of the size difference, the invasive frogs eats the native frogs.
Dear Christ, that's horrifying.
The native population should be mostly affected by the invasive species in Gainesville area. This is because the Cuban tree frogs live primarily in suburban areas due to the shelter housing provides. The invasive frog has been found in birdhouses, toilets, and other bizarre areas, according to a document provided. The document stated that the frogs get into homes through open windows, doors, and larger crevices. Once inside, they may cause trouble by defecating or jumping at people. They're attracted to light and may jump out when people come home and turn on the lights. There is no data on whether the country's native population or county's native population has been significantly affected by the predator, but it's only rational to think that it has. However, the global amphibian population has declined by a third, wildlife ecologist Kenneth Todd said. He said the loss of wetlands due to architecture and urban development has reduced breeding grounds and living areas for frogs. Now, that being said, what a lot of us here in town do, I actually used to live across the street from someone that made their backyard a wildlife sanctuary. So literally, they did not have to pay taxes. The state paid their property tax.
Oh shit.
Because they had put in these beautiful plants. They told me I could come over anytime and just hang out, which I did.
Oh.
They had these plants that attracted hummingbirds, rare butterflies, but because they attracted the rare native butterflies.
Let me guess, the frogs ate the birds too?
Jesus.
Baby brother, I'm getting to my point. Zip
Sorry.
it. Because of the fact that the way they did their backyard attracted rare native animals that were thought to be extinct because of invasive species, plants and animals and stuff like that. They were able to file their backyard or their property as a wildlife sanctuary for insects and stuff, and all they used were native plants. And so the state paid for their property taxes.
Cool.
They even put in a nice pond in the backyard. They gave me some water lettuce to put in our pond. What my mom did, because she loved frogs so much, she had 2 ponds. Well, 3 actually. We had one that was in one of those big, tall, galvanized tubs. That was her goldfish pond. We had one in the front yard, which was completely devoted to frogs. And then we had one in the backyard. Well, my mom was in the process of filing for to have her backyard as a Florida leopard bullfrog sanctuary, because they seemed to like the way we had our pond area set up, that the bullfrogs were breeding. And here, I'll quickly Google a picture of a Florida leopard bullfrog.
Ever heard of that ancient frog species that ate dinosaurs?
Never heard of that.
Yeah, they were big enough to eat the smallest dinosaur species. I think their name was based off of Beelzebub. It's one of the animals you can tame and ride in Ark.
All right, so what got us to, figuring out that we had a leopard bullfrog in the backyard was the fact we kept hearing this sound a lot louder and a lot gruffer than that.
Maybe.
And we were like, what the fuck is that? Sounds like a dying dog. And it was happening at night. So my mom sent me out there. Give me a second. I'm trying to get the screen share to work. Because my computer's trying to tell me I have too much shit running. So I go back there with a flashlight. And I'm getting close to the croaking. Come on. Oh, you piece of shit. Try this again. Present to everyone. All right. And I came across this sucker.
They're pretty.
Yes, he is. And he was staring at me like this. Like, what the fuck you think you doing, man? I'm just sitting here trying to take a bath.
I always love the idea of some animals just having real big testicles. It's like, what you gonna do?
So those Cuban frogs make the local frog population croak.
You know what? I'm going to smack you.
Why?
Because I can. All right, and now I'm going to Google a Cuban tree frog. These are the Cuban tree frogs, and I see them quite often.
How big do they get? I don't see a banana for scale.
They get pretty big.
Oh, goodness. Oh, there's a picture of one of them eating them.
Yep, this is one eating an American tree, a Florida tree frog.
My goodness.
Hey, look, Battletoads.
Here's one of them eating one of our lizards.
Oh, jeez. Things are brutal. Oh,
Hey, Goku found a friend.
He was
No.
holding the lizard too. He was holding the lizard like a delicious popsicle.
This is an Australian frog eating a snake.
Jesus.
Damn, everything in Australia is dangerous.
Oh,
This
this
is a tokay gecko eating a frog.
The tables have turned.
Now, what a lot of people do in Florida is they'll buy tokay geckos from pet stores and then they release them in their house because they are a natural pest control. But the thing is that they're also an invasive species. They eat anything that comes across their path.
Stupendous.
Are they big enough to eat a Cuban refugee frog?
Here's yes, they will eat that. Here's another frog eating a snake. Some of us call the Cuban tree frogs a dumpy frog because of how it looks.
Look at him. He's a big boy.
Cuban tree frog propped on a hornet's nest.
That fucker knows no fear.
A luminescent Florida leopard frog, also leopard bullfrog.
Oh, how pretty. Oh, okay, good parasites.
Yep, the Cuban tree frogs carry parasites.
Look at that one looking at the camera. No, look at him. Ain't he a cutie? Oh.
I mean, people think they're adorable, and yes, they are. But
Don't release them into the wild.
don't take them for a pet.
Yeah.
What the herpology people say for Florida is what you do is, don't kill them painfully or anything. What you do is you catch them, you put them in Ziploc bags, and you stick them in your freezer. And that'll put them to sleep permanently.
Oh yeah, they're cold-blooded.
Look at that sucker.
He's smiling. He is smiling.
I'm pretty sure I saw that statue in Naruto somewhere.
But yeah, see, they blend in with our trees and everything. Which the other night I was outside and I saw some toads, and these were actual Florida toads. They weren't these.
Say,
Oh,
what's
here's
the
another
time?
one.
Oh,
Just staring at the camera.
look at him. Now I want to draw a frog. Perfect. My drawing book's right here. Oh wait, what's this stream called again?
Friday Night Chaos Stream.
Thank you.
Here's another one staring at the camera. And I think I actually have a picture of a tree frog. One of these guys staring at the camera. Let's see. Let's go to my Twitter. I think I posted it on my Twitter. Let's see, my media. One dead ball. Do you mind closing my door for me? Let's see here. That's Cody. Come on. Okay. It's not there. Let me stop.
Hello, people.
Do what?
Hello. It's me.
It's him.
Hey, Rich.
Hey.
Hey,
Awesome. We have two little drawers on here. Rich, meet Fish. Fish, meet Rich.
Hello, Rich. I am Fish.
Hello, Fish. I am Rich.
Good to meet you, Rich.
Good to meet you, Fish. Anyway, just got settled in the new house.
Nice.
Oh,
And they
so
got
you guys
me
moved out
on
of
room.
California?
Yeah, we're still in California, but we moved to a newer city. It's pretty nice, away from the ghetto.
Being away from the ghetto
Is
is
there
always
still a lot of shit there?
From where I am, nope. I am good. No, I got a few new art projects I'm gonna start later in the evening. And I just want to go use the shower because I just got a new haircut. I'm gonna chillax with you guys.
Nice.
I hear it's very advantageous to renounce your citizenship, get a citizenship in another country, and come back here illegally. They'll give you free healthcare now.
see right on my apartment building was one of those Cuban tree frogs.
Ooh.
You see fish?
Look at that guy. How
What a cute
big are
little
they
girl.
on average? Like,
Do what?
how big are they? I assume they can fit in your hand, right?
Yeah, this one was probably about the size of the palm of my hand if I had picked him up.
Oh. Sorry, just killed a spider.
All right, back to the story.
Anyway, I'm gonna be back. Gotta go take a shower.
All right, go take a shower.
Okay.
Let's see. Johnson said this global decrease may not have short-term effects on humans, but could pose issues long-term. He said a tapestry as a metaphor to describe how the loss of a species like frogs could affect humans. Each species plays a unique role. You can pull one piece and nothing would happen. Another piece, probably nothing, but pull too many pieces and it would collapse.
Ain't that the truth?
So, yeah, we need to get rid of these damn frogs. But see, what my aunt and I do is, we had a pool set up outside. It was one of those small inflatable pools. And we didn't get to use it. And it sat out there all year long. And then, we literally were planning on slicing it open, to let the air out and everything. And because we weren't going to use this pool again. And throwing it away. Well, I went to go out there to start slicing it open. And I looked at my aunt because she was standing in the garage. She's like, what? I was like, I can't kill it. She's like, why? I was like, there's tadpoles in here. She's like, oh, okay. And because we try and help nature as much as we can. Apparently, Alachua County Commission allocates $20,000 to airboat regulation. It's so that they can order a new airboat. Those of us that like, having peaceful times fishing, we absolutely hate airboats because they will fly. They can go over semi-soggy ground, no problem. And what they end up doing is running over alligator nesting areas.
Oh no.
Yeah. And well, yes, we have an alligator season where you can hunt alligators. We still need that species. And what I'm reading from is the Alligator Times.
Mm. Oh, that just breaks my heart. I love alligators.
Let's see here. All the stories you got. Yeah. Local farm sanctuary offers vegan cooking classes, rescues animals.
Good on him, I guess. Do whatever he wants.
I'm sorry, I'm a meat eater, and that chicken right there would look great in a pot.
I love chicken. I love everything
John
about chicken.
and Emma Hull only had 3 goals: to save animals, to inspire people, and to avoid putting on a winter coat again. That's what led the Minnesota couple to open up Peacefield, a 30-acre nonprofit sanctuary located in Newberry, Florida, right outside of Gainesville. Holes founded Peacefield with the goal to not only save animals but to promote whole food, plant-based diet. More than 2 months after opening the farm, April 20th, they hosted their first plant-based cooking class. Hey, eating steak is plant-based. The cow eats the steak, I eat the cow. It seemed like a cool agricultural community, but also with progressive vibe because of the university, said John Hull, co-founder of Peacefield. It seemed like a perfect fit. The whole food, plant-based diet is made from vegetables, grains, fruits, and nuts, John said. While a vegan diet also excludes animal products, a vegan can still eat unhealthy processed food. Whole food plant diets do not. This diet allows for one to obtain their natural needs while not harming animals. On Sunday night, the Holes rescue animals: Toby, a miniature pig, bacon seed, 7 chickens, dumplings, 2 roosters, and dogs Kaiser and Judy. Greeted guests during the farm tour. The couple opened up their home to teach 16 guests how to cook 4 meals, all vegan. Guests learned how to make protein-filled oatmeal with cacao powder, and goji beans, or berries. A cauliflower cashew queso, a mock tuna salad made from chickpeas, and sweet potato Buddha bowl. Look, that all sounds nasty. And I'm not a fan of tuna. I'd rather have the damn tuna. Michaela Collin, a 19-year-old Santa Fe psychology sophomore, said she attended the class to learn how to make some quick vegan meals. I believe that what they are doing can change a lot of people's mindsets and open their eyes to things they were previously unaware of. The Holes became vegan 3 years ago to improve their health and help animals. But it wasn't until John lost his grandmother due to dementia that they thought of opening Peacefield. Hole said the loss took a toll on his mother, Kathy. Inspired by her son and Emma's lifestyle, Kathy Hole, 60, decided to try the whole food plant-based diet. She lost over 50 pounds, no longer needs her allergy and cholesterol medications, and completed 6 marathons. Seeing her rebound after losing my grandmother and going whole food plant-based, we knew we had to tell everyone. With Peacefield and Hull's hope for the promotion of whole food plant-based diet will help not only the community but also the animals. By eliminating animal products from our diet, we can save animals, our health, and the planet. Okay, ladies. And I'm talking to the people that are saying all this shit because they're pussies. Most of the animals that are bred to be eaten. If we let them breed wild, like they are wanting us to do, they are going to overeat. For a long time in the National Forest, the Yosemite National Forest,
Yeah.
they would kill any wolves they saw because they wanted the deer population up and everything like that because, pretty good for tourism. Well, they realized after like 30 some odd years that the plant growth wasn't coming back. That deer were everywhere, and they were finding tons of dead deer from the winter because the plants weren't coming back. They were finding diseased deer because there was nothing to kill it. Trees weren't growing because there were too many deer eating the bark and leaves off of them and eating the seeds. So they finally introduced wolves back into Yosemite. And within 2 years, they saw a huge difference. The deer population went down by, I think they said, a third. Plants were starting to grow back that they thought the deer had eaten all of. The trees started sprouting again. Their bark was, thicker. Everything got better. So if we stop eating animals and we just let them do willy-nilly, we're going to end up doing the exact same thing people did 30 years ago in the Yosemite of killing off the apex predators. These animals are going to run fucking wild and eat everything. As it is here in Alachua County, if you see wild pigs, you are to report them to wildlife authorities because they want to catch them and put them into what is considered a wildlife sanctuary away from major roads. Sometimes if they're small enough, they'll take them to a place where eventually they'll get butchered. And some of them, they just take them to a sanctuary. But it's not illegal for you to try and keep one as a pet. Yay! As long as you're not going onto someone else's property to catch it. But if we stop eating these animals that we have bred over time to be eaten, they're going to overtake the land. We're not going to have the plant-based diets they're wanting us to be on because these fucking animals are going to eat it. And then guess what we're going to have to do to survive in the winter? Eat the fucking animals. So one way or another, we're going to end up eating animals. Might as well just keep eating them now.
So long story short, just ignore everything that the Democrats tell us to do.
Hey, Scooby.
Hey, you were on such a good tangent. I've been in here for about a good 10 minutes or so just listening.
Well, am I wrong, Scoob?
No, you're not wrong. Not at all.
A good analogy was the Yosemite wolves.
Mm-hmm. No, I remember because when I was a kid, my father used to make it a point of highlighting how first these assholes killed all of the bison.
Yep.
And then just to get rid of the natives. And then they decided, okay, we're going to get rid of the wolves. This is the reason he said to me, he said, Pachota, don't ever listen to these people with their climate nonsense. He said, they nearly killed off the buffalo, then they nearly killed off the wolves. He said, now they want to save the planet. He said, don't listen to them. It's a hustle.
Yeah, I can't finish reading this because these people are trying to push for a plant-based diet, and I'm sorry, I'm not a cow. I don't go moo.
At least until after a few drinks.
Oh, that reminds me. Our little sister got herself a rabbit.
Oh,
She
very
got
cool.
herself a rabbit.
She what?
She got herself a rabbit.
Yeah.
Next time you talk to her, tell her I said that, you know, while rabbits may like carrots, rabbit tastes real good stewed in with potatoes and carrots. Little bunny fufu is very, very tasty. So, Scoob, how you doing?
And your cat's really good too.
I wouldn't know that. You know, I'd have to be starving. I mean, starving to eat a cat.
Yeah, same here. And I won't be able to eat any of mine.
Scoob, are you there? Oh, he got dropped out. Hey, Scoob.
Hey, stupid thing.
So, how's your day been?
Tiring. Fucking dog. Tiring. Just a long day. She's home on vacation and it's making life a living hell. You know, yeah. Life has been hellish for the past couple of days. How's with you?
It's all right. Once I get done here, I have to go work on that sewing project.
Huh, what are you sewing?
I'm still sewing on that damn dog bed.
This thing's gonna be epic when you're done.
No, I didn't get a chance to work on it this week because I had one corner piece that I wasn't sure how to sew it, and I had an idea of how I was supposed to do it. And then, you know, I showed it to my aunt, and she tells me, "Oh, this is how you do it," which is the way I thought I was supposed to do it. So I was going to do it anyway.
Yeah, I got you.
But I wasn't sure. I didn't want to sew it and it be wrong. Because I've never done something like this. I am literally having to build my own damn pattern.
So it's gonna look cool, in other words, when you're done.
It's going to look decent.
You don't give yourself enough credit.
No, not when it comes to this.
So, Kelt, what has been up, man?
Not much.
Yeah, I ain't talked to you in a few days. So I was curious. Yo,
That
No, go
free
ahead.
healthcare bill for illegals passed in California.
Yeah, I know, and the asshole also put it in through over here too. He put that through, and my governor signed the bill into place where he's going to close the gender wage gap or whatever it is, pay wage.
Yeah, I heard about that.
How the fuck is this moron going to? I tell you what, and he's also, I'm sure, going to issue out unicorns to every little girl in the state.
I want a unicorn.
I'm sure you'd like them to do the whole equal pay thing too, but this is a.
I don't think you can tame it, Tara.
Yeah, seriously, like, I got that. But
Maybe a bicorn, but not a unicorn.
I don't know. I seem to tame Glenn's unicorn just fine.
Yeah, but you have to be a virgin to tame a unicorn.
Yeah, that's
Okay, well, just drag my sister over here.
Just gonna say that ship has sailed and went
Oh, even
way
better.
the
I'll
fuck
just
up
drag
off the
you here
curb.
because you're closer. Virgin.
Patches.
I
Shut him up.
I think you have to be a virgin maiden to tame a unicorn.
Nope, just a virgin.
I thought there was a virgin maiden.
Nothing in the lore says virgin maiden. It just says virgin. Everybody assumes it's a virgin maiden.
Yeah, the upside though, you're safe from succubus. I'm the type that they hunt. Come on, Patches, get in here. Oh, what, now you're gonna pout because no one wants to come and fight you?
I learned about the bicorn because of a succubus.
I always said to myself, what the fuck type of demon is this where you're gonna lay in bed and you wake up and this thing is blowing you? Seriously, you look at like the ancient medieval Christians, the shit that they were afraid of. They were afraid to wake up to a naked woman blowing them. My God, what a phobia to have.
Well, maybe it was the monks who came up with it.
Well, you have to remember, in the Bible, it pretty much said that any position other than missionary was a sin.
Yeah, that's...
Talk about the missionaries.
Cunnilingus was a sin.
Yeah.
So they didn't do that. They didn't understand the pleasures of it.
Yeah, I know. Procreation, not recreation. Believe me, the Monsignor used to drill it into our heads.
I'm sure, like the nobles knew about it. They probably left that out in confession.
Well, you got to remember, until they came out with the Gutenberg Bible, most people were illiterate.
Yeah.
That's how literacy spread, is because people wanted to read the Bible.
Let me just a sec.
That's also how they consolidated power and they kept control over people.
Yeah, because only the church could read Latin.
Only the church has access to books, and only priests and those going into the priesthoods were the ones that were usually educated in the art of reading and writing and arithmetic. Believe it or not, actually, arithmetic itself, when during the Reformation, not the Reformation, excuse me, during the Dark Ages, part of the reason it was the Dark Ages, do you know most of the church did not know math? I'm being dead serious about this. You see, those are Arab numerals. They weren't Latin. They would only use Roman mathematics, and Roman mathematics kind of plateaus at a point. And so this is actually where you get the Merchant of Venice. Most of the bankers, and this is where they get the stigma through the centuries, most of the bankers were the Jews who had still access to the Holy Land, and still, because they were not part of Christendom and its beautiful, beautiful insanity of the Middle Ages of everything is a sin, so let's kill it. So the Jews actually had education, and that's the reason they became the moneylenders and the bankers in Europe, and that's the reason they rose to power. You see, a lot of people give them a bad rap, and they say, oh, it's the Jews and the this and the that. No, you see, the church, if you tried to learn mathematics or you got to realize something. If you had epilepsy, you were possessed by a devil, so we're going to drill a hole in the side of your head to let out the bad spirits. This was still done until our country was founded. Think about that. The late 18th century, people were still drilling holes in people's heads to let out demons. It's kind of scary. Like, within the lifetime of this country, they were doing archaic shit like that. Bleeding, leeches, all that sort of crazy shit. Turns out they were...
You know what confuses me about Christian anti-Semitism? One of the reasons why they hated Jews was because it was the Jews who killed Jesus. If they didn't do that, that fucks up their entire religion.
Don't matter. Doesn't matter if it benefited them. Especially like the way I was raised specifically, because I think I told you, like, old school Catholics do not ever call him Jesus. We're not on a first name basis with him at all. We refer to him as Christ. And it's actually a thing that a lot of Catholics have a problem with Christians. They find it nervy. Oh, Rich, you're back.
What? Where's my remote?
I love this kid.
Y'all lose my remote.
What, the Catholics are jealous?
No, it's not jealous. They take it personal. They don't like. They find it rude and nervy that you guys refer to Christ as Jesus. It bothers them. This is like the old school, Catholics. I mean, I run into these Puerto Ricans all the time, all over the neighborhood, and they're constantly calling them Jesus. So I'm like, okay, they're obviously not. Known as probably not listening into them, well, probably in the house, but the minute they get outside, because I would always hear like the Spanish people in the neighborhood, like the older people, they would refer to them as Christos. So you would never hear them say Jesus when they're talking about Jesus. You'd always hear them say Christos. That's just how it was. And the thing of it was, the way that they look at the Jews is they deny the light of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
That's their problem with them. That was my father's problem with them.
I think what was it? They had multiple reasons for hating the Jews.
That was the main thing. They denied the light of Christ.
Yeah. That
was it. That was the main thing. You deny Christ's light, you do not accept Christ.
Well, that's the main reason for Catholics to hate anyone, is if they deny Christ.
You're catching on. Had to be no other reason. The fact that, according to the Catholics, the Jews had tons of other sins, that was arbitrary. They denied the light of Christ. That's all that matters. I loved how my father would say it to me, too. He'd be like, Pachorta, even the Muslims, even though they got it backwards, they acknowledge Christ's light. Even those Hindus, even the people with the turbans wrapped around their heads, they all acknowledge Christ's light. Everyone but those Jews. That's all he would ever say.
Oh, when do the Hindus acknowledge Christ?
Everyone acknowledges him. That's the problem my father had with the Jews. He'd say it all the time. He'd be like, these filthy Jew bastards, they don't have to, they can't just acknowledge him. No, we don't believe in them. No, these are bullshit. They're liars. He was convinced that the Jews, he said, was arrogance. He said the proof is in front of them. He's like, these arrogant bastards. No, fuck them. Let them burn. Okay, Pop.
Some atheists deny Christ.
Oh, my father hated atheists. He used to say that. He used to say all the time. He's like, they should, amend the Emancipation Proclamation. You have to believe in something, otherwise, he basically said if they're not going to believe in anything, he's like, put them into forced labor camps. They'll be praying soon enough. Okay. Like, freedom of religion. Exactly. You got to have a faith. You don't have one, fine.
He needs to be careful with, he should have been careful with what he said. He said that they have to believe in something. He never said it had to be a god.
Yeah, but that was how the thing. My father's thing was this. He figured, if you don't believe in God, you're a communist. That's all. You could say to him, well, I believe in nature. Well, that's fine. You're not a communist.
I believe in myself.
That's fine. As long as you don't believe in the state and the people and the glorious People's Republic of the state or any of that shit, you're good with him.
Hello? Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, Rich, how are you?
Oh, hey. Finally. Stupid thing works.
Yeah, I seen the picture you sent the other day. It looks really good, man. Thank you.
I don't mention that. I gotta finish it quick.
Okay, Patches, here you go. Here's Dinny Dins. This dog is driving me crazy. Here you go, pal. Manja. There you go. Hey, Stugats, I'm not going to do this again. Eat the food. The dog actually wants me to feed him by hand with a fork. It's because his Democrat mother spoiled him. I go out the house one day, I come home, she's feeding the dog with a fucking fork and knife.
Oh, Scooby.
Yeah.
I'm playing a game that I think you might find hilarious.
What is it?
Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pains. Thing is, a lot of the bad guys you fight are Soviets during the Afghan War.
Oh, nice.
You can capture them and recruit them to your own force. So you're basically kidnapping Soviets to be your mercenaries.
As long as you're sending them on suicide missions.
Well, no, they're running my base. Haven't got to the point where I can send them out on the field yet.
You're going to come back and your base is going to be completely upside down. They're going to be cooking borscht everywhere and they're going to be empty vodka bottles, I'm telling you. You cannot let Soviets run anything.
Well, the thing is, they stopped being Soviets once they're liberated from the Soviet Union. They become capitalists. I mean, they're fucking soldiers for money.
Yeah, true. I just, like, me personally, I don't know. I try not to sound so cynical when I talk about, like, the communists and the Soviets and all that shit, but it's the way I was raised. And I seen all that shit with Antifa, like, last week when they were up over in D.C., and they were, knocking over garbage cans again and attacking old people wearing MAGA hats. And I'm looking at them, I'm thinking to myself, they're really lucky because, me personally, if I was the president, it would be like 68 all over again. I'd have the cops out there with fire hoses and German shepherds chasing the communists the fuck up out D.C. Seriously. They're lucky that Trump doesn't give a fuck about them. And you know what it is? It's not, let me rephrase that. Obviously, the president cares. But he ain't letting them, phase him. He ain't getting shook by Antifa. What it is with Trump, how he's handling this, is he's letting them run amok because you got to see that the Democrat mayors are telling the police to stand down. That's the only way that it's going to get exposed. And the real problem I have is the mainstream media is covering this shit up.
They've started distancing themselves after Andy Ngo.
Yeah. That was ridiculous, that poor guy.
There was the diehard commies like Vox who are still supporting them, even excusing them.
Yeah. Well, I've been saying this for a long time now. That's part of the reason I'm trying to get my shit together. Hopefully before the end of the summer, I'm going to start heading into Manhattan more and out east to the Hamptons more. I might be picking up a car, God willing. And this is the thing. I'm going to start, like, what's his face? Help me out on this one, Kelt. He owns Twitter. Jack Dorsey.
Yeah.
Jack Dorsey, basically, now this isn't me being an asshole. You can literally type it into, I think Bing or Google, and for whatever reason, it brought up, like, a whole story about where the asshole gets his hair cut. A whole story about what deli he goes to, and a whole story about this and that. Now, this is specifically, you got to listen to anyone who's watching this. This is how you do journalism. You don't run up on them with cans of red paint because of meat, or, throw shit on their fur coat if they're wearing a fur or whatever. You don't do that crazy shit. If you find out where one of these people, let's say Jack Dorsey, gets his haircut or he gets a sandwich, you go in and you sit down like you're getting a haircut. You start a conversation with the man. You should eventually identify yourself as a journalist because what you're doing is bushwhacking if you don't. Same thing in the deli. You strike up a conversation. Let them know that you're a journalist. You have the courtesy. But that's how you do it. So, I'm saying this because when I say, I know where Jack Dorsey gets his haircut and he gets his sandwich, immediately you got people thinking that it's going to be like the shit that you see on YouTube where you run up full steam and you throw a camera in the person's face. That's not how you do it. That's when you get them going no comment. Because you're bushwhacking them. You got to roll up on them civil-like. But that's what I'm saying is, like these people on Vox, they got an office in Manhattan, and I know that they got another office up over in Huntington Station out here, and I'm pretty sure they got another one out east. Like their satellite station, offices, satellite offices. So, like one of my things is I want to start going up into Manhattan and rolling up on them. Like, yo, what's good? Let's have a conversation. Let's rap. Let's talk. Because no one has the balls to do that to these folks. You see, what is her name? Get the hell out, Patches. Don't tell me. I know her name. She's a blonde. She's a little bit nuts. Luma. She had blonde hair at one point. That Laurel Luma chick. You can't use her approach. I mean, it's funny. I was laughing my ass off watching her when she's talking to Comey, and all of a sudden she stands up at the press conference and she's like, "You're going down, Comey." I mean, yeah, that's funny, but it's counterproductive. So, if anyone's going to be tuning in expecting me to, like, run up and bushwhack, nah. Because what happens is you get hit by security. You try to get a conversation going with them, and you try to ask them questions, and you try to act civil. you know, you go there like dressed like a fucking paratrooper or an English Bobby, like in fucking Freddy Got Fingered, they're not going to talk to you again. You have to go like dressed decently. If I probably went, I wouldn't obviously be wearing this getup. I'd probably have on a 3-piece suit. You know, I wouldn't even be dressed like in my normal civilian gear with like a bandana, you know, boots, t-shirt, hoodie, that sort of thing. Nah. You know, I'd go there looking legit. That's how you do it. Just want to mention it because, you know, I see a lot of the way that a lot of people go about doing things here on YouTube, and it's not the right way to do it. Probably two of the better people I've seen do this properly are Slightly Offensive and Fleckus Talks. They both specifically handle the person-to-person interview very well. Specifically Slightly Offensive, I've seen him handle it very, very well because when they go and they put their hand in front of his camera, he goes and gets the cops and shows them his press pass and says he's interfering with me doing my job. And you can actually get arrested. A lot of people don't realize this. If you keep interfering with a reporter covering something who's a credentialed reporter, their First Amendment right is their job, and they're there trying to cover something, which is the press, and it's free speech and freedom of the press. You're actually interfering with their constitutional rights, and depending which state you are, they might really come down on you hard. Again, for anyone watching who decides they want to try to block a camera or something, that's one of the things you have to keep in mind. You are basically interfering with someone's constitutional rights.
Yep.
You know, one of the things I try to point out to our illustrious governor in this state was, you know, look, Andrew, if you're watching, I don't give a flying fuck if it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Stop rolling through policy. It's illegal. The fact that he is not brought up on charges yet amazes me. Well, Mafia. That's all you got to say. There you go. Fucking Mafia Cuomo up in Albany. Good God. I can't believe this crazy shit. I mean, I really, what is it? What's his name? Gavin Newstead? Is that his name? Or is that the guy from Bush?
I have no clue.
Who the fuck is the governor of California? Rich, what's your governor's name? He's out in Cali, ain't he?
You think I know? You think I know? I don't pay attention to commies.
Good man. Good man. I think his name is Newsom. It's Gavin Newsom, I think it is the governor. And
let me look it up.
Yeah, they had.
I don't even know my governor's name. All I know is that it's a woman.
Wow. There was.
The only reason I know that is because the Alabama abortion bill.
True. All right. There's this YouTuber I usually watch, Jericho Green. I think it might have been Jericho Green that was saying it about, how both of them, my governor and the governor of California, are trying to out-commie each other. It's like they're in a competition who can be the most communist. And, you know, it's all well and good, but, again, for the record, as you can see the way I'm wearing this hat, you see which way I lean, and I'm saying this right now, I'm hoping my state secedes, that way that this fucking country can annex it right the fuck back in, get rid of all this socialist nonsense, and put these people in fucking irons, really. I'm sick and tired of it.
It's East Side versus West Side.
What happened?
Okay,
You're talking about rivalry. Is it like East Side versus West Side?
Oh no, I'm saying I can't believe. Yeah, it's almost like that East Coast. Good point. That East Coast West Coast Civil War in the '90s with the fucking hip hop. That shit bothered me. You know, I actually got into like 1 or 2 fistfights when I was a kid. I was a teenager at that point. I was like old enough to have a junior license, but a couple of times, like in Brooklyn, I ran into this one asshole and he had this really bad attitude with me. And he's like, "I'm from Oakland." What the fuck are you doing in Flatbush if you're from Oakland? Well, I'm out here visiting my cousin. And you're picking fights with the local people. Well, yeah, fuck New York. I didn't even get a chance to touch him. He said, fuck New York, somebody else hit him. Seriously. You know what I mean? I remember that from when I was a kid. And it's not anything like that now, because it's the Pinkos tried to out Pinko each other, so who the fuck knows with those people? I avoid them like the plague, but I just, again, you know, it's one of the things, I don't dislike the guy. A lot of what he says pisses me the fuck off. Sticks Hexenhammer. But one of the things he said, and I made my mother watch it. I said, this is the most brilliant thing that this kid has ever said thus far. I said, because he goes like this about when California was looking to secede. He's like, I want California to secede. I support it, and I'm going to tell you why. California will secede, and we will annex it. We'll bring it right back into this country, and we'll take away its states' rights. We'll get rid of all the crazy shit they're doing, and then we'll bootstrap them right back in so they'll act normal again. And when I
Don't
heard
they will
him
take away states' rights?
well, when it first gets annexed, because you have to reorganize it, it would be considered an annexed territory. It wouldn't have
Did
states'
we do
rights.
that in 1865?
We can do it again.
We did do that in
I'm-
1865?
Oh hell, I don't know. I think we might have done it to California. We might have done it to Texas. Who the fuck knows? No, wait. California was a state before then because it was part of the Union during the Civil War.
Yeah, but a lot of states secede from the Union, and
That California stayed with us.
yeah, I know, but you're saying if New York succeeds, we'll take those states' rights away. My point is, I don't know if we did that in 1865 when we brought the other states back in.
Oh no, we did.
Oh,
We did. There was actually a period of readmission. It was during the Reconstruction era. I
okay.
think it was. Yeah, they actually had to they had no rights. They were considered annexed territory. They actually had to readmit, and it was a lot faster for a lot of states. This is like what I was talking to you about the other day. It's a bit of a myth. Just like how they're trying to say nowadays how the Civil War is fought over slavery, it was not fought over slavery. Slavery was a happenstance that happened to be going on during the war. The war was fought over the fact that they already had a 20% tax rate down south, and then they increased it to 47%. And on top of that 47% tax increase, 27% tax increase, bringing it up to 47%, the other part of it that was driving them nuts is there was an embargo that got put on towards British goods and French goods. Basically, it was tariffs and embargoes going on. It didn't affect the North because the North had production. The problem was the South was known for dealing in imported goods. So between the tax increase and the increase on prices with the tariffs, it hammered the Southern economy. It was a 1-2 punch. And slavery just happened to be going on at the same time. That's all.
Slavery was a big issue for these the South succeeding because on the day they left, all the state senators gave a speech on the floor, and every single one of them said slavery was an issue. They wanted to keep their slaves
because they were all rich people. Look at today. Do you think Nancy Pelosi speaks for most Americans? Fuck no. She's speaking for herself. She don't want walls because she's got 9-foot walls around the house. Like, you got to realize a lot.
Wait, aren't walls immoral?
Yeah, exactly. So you got to realize. Look at it this way. Check this out. The other misconception I was getting at before was the Civil War was not a North-South war, despite what people think. The majority of the South were, I guess, Unionist, for lack of a better term, but unfortunately, those who had the money and the power, the ones who were actually the ones in control of the states, wanted the secession. So you had a lot. Now, this is the thing. Ironically, it wasn't until Sherman's March that there was a lot of fucking anti-Yankee sentiment that got stirred up. And basically, the Southerners did not have a problem with the Union until Sherman ruined the South. That's ironic, isn't it? I mean, when you think about it, the majority of the Southerners they didn't have really a dog in the race because only, I think it was, less than 2% of the Southern white population owned slaves. The majority of whites that were down in the South were actually poor sharecroppers. A lot of people don't realize that. The reason the majority of them were specifically that they fought was because the Yankees showed up. I mean, politics is politics, but I mean, you show up with a fucking army in my backyard, well, I'm going to throw in with the people you're arguing with because you're shooting at me. You know, and I'm not trying to be a Confederate sympathizer. It's just a fact is a fact. When they asked, now I'm quoting a lot of the books. A lot of what I'm referring to is from the anthology series that was done by Shelby Foote, which was actually the basis for Ken Burns' documentary on the war. Basically, they asked the majority of returning Southerners, And the resounding overall answer, like something like 90% of the time, was, well, the Yankees showed up. That was their reason for fighting in the war. Not, a lot of them, they had no problem. Like, you got to realize, there was, like, the garrison that fired on Fort Sumner was basically, that was mostly the troops, the cadets from the military academies that were made fresh into fresh troops. So they were itching for a fight. Like, the initial run-up of people that were in the Civil War, the Confederate Army, were just the soldiers who got called home and the cadet troops that got called home. Joe Haircut, people like us on the stream right now, had no dog in the race until Patches, Daddy's on the phone. Until after, Sherman showed up and tore the place apart. That's when people were like, well, fuck you. But at that point, the war was over. That's when you got that lost cause mentality, because the man burned down fucking Georgia. There's a lot to the mentality when you got the heart of the South burned the fuck out, So, I mean, that was the whole thing, because I talked to a lot of people, obviously you guys, but I talked to a lot of people who were from down south, and I tell them all the time, the Southern Cross, that represents just a political ideology. That's the rich man's flag. That's what I would tell people all the time, and they'd say, well, that's because you're a Yankee. I'm like, no. Listen to me very carefully. That's the rich man's flag. The Southern flags are... It was not a working man that was in there. Jeff Davis had a huge plantation. I mean, you got to realize there was a lot of people that were in the war specifically because they were defending their home. Robert E. Lee, and it really pisses me the fuck off because they tore down his statue. The man he did not own slaves, as far as I know. He was against slavery. He felt it was horrible, but because it was in the Bible, like most people in that era, they felt it was a sin, but it was permitted by the hand of God, and it was only God's hand that would erase it. You asked any Southerner back then, that's what they would tell you. They did not like it. A lot of them didn't like it, but they said, look, it's in the Bible. It's been forever. Who are we to change it? It can only be changed by the hand of God. That's how a lot of them, that was the default answer for a lot of them. Obviously, you had other people that were going to have a much more blunt and crude answer, and it's the one that the left always points to, but that wasn't the majority feeling down there. And Robert E. Lee was one of those people. And the other thing of it was, he did not support secession because he knew it was unconstitutional. But he was going to defend Virginia, his home. And the fact that they tore down this man's statue is disgusting. Like, I can't even watch. They got that one video where they tore it down, and these kids are standing around playing ukuleles, jumping on it and dancing and spitting on it. I control myself. You want to use facial recognition software and just send these kids' parents a bill. Going down, Rich. Salud.
What?
That means God bless you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry. I'll try to keep it in English. I don't know too many words in Sicilian anyway. Just a handful.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys are talking too much. I'm not going to be able to get a word in edgewise.
No, I told you earlier I'm busy.
Gotcha.
I've got nothing else to add. I don't know much about history.
Oh, that's fine. You learn. If you have any questions, you ask. It's just, it's one of those things. I try to talk about the Civil War all the time because I think we're heading towards another one because these Democrats are starting it. And this is the thing I always point out. It was the Democrats who started the damn war. The Republican Party was only formed as a response to Andrew Jackson forming the damn Democratic Party. And like I say it all the time, I'm not a Southern apologist, but it's one of those things where I'll say, the South is not responsible. It was the rich Democrats who caused all the trouble, just like they're causing trouble now, and they have throughout history. They invented Jim Crow. When that wasn't working, they turned around in the 60s and they took over the Black Power movement. They shot Huey and fucking left him bleeding in the dark. And next thing you know, the Black Panthers are communists. Where the hell did that come from? Came from the Democrats. I don't trust them. They started a war that tore this country in half 100 and something years ago. What was it? Over 160 years ago. And they're trying to do it again. In my lifetime, these assholes are trying to start another civil war. I feel bad for you younger guys, you know? I mean, God forbid they actually start a civil war. What's going to be left of this country if it does get bad? I know, Rich, where you and me are right now, the coasts. It's going to be, the worst is going to be here. I'm worried more about your coast than over here because I'll be completely honest. Look, no offense. It looks like it's north to south nuttiness over on your fucking coast. Over here, I mean, we got a few patches. You know, you got like New York, you got Boston, you got Philly, you got Pittsburgh, you know, you got Baltimore. But the rest of the coast is not like that. You know, you got like these little spots here and there full of shit, but the rest of the people on the outskirts, you know, East Coast, it's a lot of people like working in factories and shit. You got a lot of steel mills, you got a lot of shit of that nature. I mean, it's not, I don't think it's going to be as bad, no offense. It's just, I don't know of any industry you guys got over there other than Silicon Valley and, fuck, up in Oregon, I know they make really good candles. I mean, other than that, fuck, I don't know anything on the West Coast.
I ain't about that war life. If anything happens, I'm going to stay home.
You may not have the option. That's the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah, there's been, you know, ever since all this new civil war started, there's been whispers of a draft up for both sexes.
Wait, what?
They're not going to draft me.
I think there was a judge who ruled that a male-only draft was unconstitutional.
Yeah, that's why I said for both sexes.
Who cares about that? I'm fucked either way.
Well, I got a solution for the draft. Just use social media. First wave, just send in all the SJWs. I'm not using this gun. I refuse to shoot. Bang! Thud. Next. Seriously, we'll get rid of them in, what, 48 hours? Just airdrop them in Afghanistan.
Yeah, send in all the pussies. Leave me alone.
Watch them yell, autistic screech that shooting at a woman is sexist.
The fucking, it amazes me. You know, I listen to these people talk.
If I was their CO, I'd say, okay, you take point.
Yeah, seriously. Well, I was trying to talk to Nano Reaper about this one time, but he gets belligerent when you try to talk military with him because he served. And, you know, you can't, I shouldn't say you can't, because the guy can be open-minded. At the same time, he can be closed-minded, and he's not here to defend himself, so I shouldn't be speaking about the man. But me and him were talking about this once. And, excuse me. The way it works is we got 4 branches of the Army. You got your standing Army, you got your National Guard, you got your Reserve, and you got whatever this 4th branch is, which we have not used since it got retired during Reagan's administration. And what it was, I guess for whatever reason, they considered the draftees a separate branch of the Army. So my thinking is, well, fuck it, just restart the thing. And somebody was saying to me, they're like, well, you know, how are you going to be able to force these fucking people to fight? And I told them, I said, well, you put the chip in the head and you put the chip in their gun. If they don't fire the gun, their fucking head explodes. Seriously. At this point, they're government property. I'm just saying you can use these SJWs and start drafting them and send them the fuck over there. Now, I'm not talking about like just some of these little shitballs that got like a bunch of Greenpeace and fucking Save the Earth shit all over their Facebook page. I'm talking the active ones, like the ones that you catch with like the fucking the bike lock with clumps of hair and dry blood on it because they've been bashing conservatives. You know, the one that's got like schematics and the shit where he's looking to like blow up a church that gives food to veterans because, you know, they're baby killers. You know, one of those really adorable people. Like Lena Dunham, she'd be the first one you draft. You know, people like that. Who the fuck is that other pig? Kathy Griffin. Like
Justin Bieber.
He's Canadian. I'd deport him.
Yeah, he's Canadian.
I honestly, I'd deport him to the I go like this to Trudeau. Here's the deal. Make sure he stays the fuck up in the Arctic Circle and we'll knock off $1 billion of debt you got with us.
Yeah, when he was arrested, we tried to send him back to Canada, They didn't want him.
Wow, that's sad.
So check this out. I had an idea. I wanted to throw a passes. They keep getting caravans that are coming up through Mexico to our border, right?
Mhm.
I told this idea to my mother earlier, and she looked at me like this. So it must be a good idea. I go, now here's what we do. We talk to the Mexican president. What's his name? Piñeto, right? We talk to Piñeto and we tell him like this. You let the caravans into your country. Our planes are going to come over, and they're going to carpet bomb them with napalm. You don't interfere with your Air Force. You do a complete media blackout. You don't let nobody know that we did this. And every caravan you let us carpet bomb, we're going to knock $100 million off of your debt with the United States. There you go. We won't have a refugee problem no more.
You know, it'd be interesting if we mined the border.
I've already said this publicly. I am all for. I want mines. Yes, I'm for. I actually want Malaysian tiger traps. I want Malaysian tiger traps on the other side of the wall, so when they hop over, they land on it. They go right down into the spikes.
Yeah, but what would be the reason why I'd find this interesting is because I want to know if these abolish all borders assholes would throw themselves on the mines to make it safer for the immigrants, with the illegals.
Fine.
No, they won't. They don't give a shit.
Some of them would, and I'm all for that. Let them give it the fucking bench test. Seriously.
They probably let their white boys go there and say, "Prove that you're virtuous."
That's fine. That's fine. Who the fuck wants them
they're
reproducing
martyrs.
anyway?
Yeah, they got bad genes anyway.
Do you know what I would do? I'd pull a
They're
psych
repentant.
out. If I was in charge of putting them mines down, and they started bum rushing it, I'd tell my troops beforehand, when I say, quick, stop them, we don't have mines to replace the ones they detonate, that's the code for actually let them run and detonate the mines, and we're just going to put in fresh ones because we got a whole truck full. That's all. But seriously, I'd make them think, oh, good, if we blow up these mines, then the illegals can get in. I'll sacrifice myself, and we'll put in a fresh mine right on top of their steaming corpse.
Oh,
Seriously.
think of bum rushing. Area 51.
Yeah, I seen that, and again, look,
That guy's a dumbass.
I'm saying this honestly, and people are gonna call me a horrible villain for saying this. That's United States government property. It's a classified installation. It's
Yeah, I heard the
known as
last guy who
such.
tried to break in was shot dead.
Yeah.
I'm hoping actually that they pull up in one of those pickups with the fucking big gigantic M249 on the back, and they just open fire on them with the fucking
I heard they're going to
bullets the
Naruto run
size
the
of
place.
bananas. What's up?
I heard they're going to Naruto run the place.
Those. Come on, that's retarded. No, you do some teleport jutsu, not Naruto run. You get caught easy. Fucking idiots.
All right, for those of us who are a little bit older, what do you mean Naruto run?
Okay, it's from the anime Naruto.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, basically you're running. You're leaning your head pretty far forward, and you have your arms swung back, and you're running like that.
That's how my roommate's kid runs around the house and everything. He thinks it makes him go faster. I'm like, actually, it doesn't.
That makes you run slower. That's not how physics works. Jesus
I was
Christ.
like, there's a reason why they have you have your arms to your sides and moving with your body. It creates a better flow.
I'll be honest, Naruto running works in laser tag if the sensor is on the gun itself.
That type of running is specifically, all right, you guys have seen enough movies about New York City, and you've seen enough pictures of the Golden Gate Bridge. Not that height, but the way that the suspension bridge, the cables that suspended, if you were running on a plane like that, then Naruto running would be probably your best bet. You'd want your arms out, and you want your center of gravity like that, because you're going to be going down anyway. That's probably your best bet if you want to run full steam on an incline like that and keep your balance and not fall to your death. Then you would Naruto run, but not across straight, flat ground. It's going to look retarded.
Isn't that what skaters do when they're going down hills?
Exactly. Skaters and snowboarders, it's the same thing. You want to actually make yourself smaller and skiers. You want to make yourself smaller, and you want to have your center of gravity leaning towards you as a form of propulsion. You're actually being pulled by the Earth. So you want to
Actually,
put.
kind of makes sense because, like in
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed, if you're running across something narrow like a fence or a rail, your avatar Naruto runs.
Like they call it nowadays, and I know for a fact now people are going to be making memes about this or whatever. They're going to go all nuts because I'm saying this on the air, because apparently everything I say is false, according to, I don't know, every shitball that has no life on the internet. But when I was younger, because like I've said this before many times, the thing that we used to do, you get a couple of cans of Krylon and you get a couple of Magnums, and you know, Magnums, by the way, not the guns for anyone who's listening. It's this really big, gigantic, brolic Sharpie marker. And you get the Magnum.
The condom.
No, it's
God
a
damn
big
it, woman.
paint. It's a big paint marker. You get the paint markers and you get the cans of spray paint, and we go. And when I say bomb, again, we're not blowing anything up. Bomb was literally what we would call going and painting graffiti on shit. You would go and bomb something, and when we would do this, obviously you're not gonna go walking down the street with a JanSport full of fucking cans of Krylon and Magnums. You know, you clank, 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 clank. You know, the cops are gonna pick you up in 2 seconds. So you want to use the rooftops. So we heard it referred to in the late '90s. By that point, we'd already stopped doing that, but we heard it referred to as free running, and then the French called it parkour. I think we just referred to it as not dying. You know, don't fall. That was basically what we called it. There was nothing to it. And, you know, they like people would ask me, like the younger guys, oh, did you guys, do that, run up the wall and flip and all? No, we were just trying to run from the police and not fall to our death. We weren't doing, I mean, some of the younger guys, some of the guys that we were with, who were in really good shape, the guys who, like, they had the 6-pack abs and all that shit, the ones who worked out all the time. Yeah, they're standing there running and jumping and doing flips and shit, but no, I was a big guy. I used to lift weights. I wasn't Batman is what I'm driving at. I was not sitting there, like leaping across rooftops, doing like triple somersaults and landing, like in a fucking a stance. It wasn't like that. We were just, most of the time you're lucky you don't break something.
Well,
you go jumping across the...
saying that makes me think of Punisher Warzone, which I watched last night, where Punisher takes a rocket launcher and blows that little fucker up mid-flip.
I get such a kick out of the fact that black guy was Irish too. I got because his brogue was so on point. But yeah, no, none of I mean, there was maybe 1 or 2 of us that could actually do that shit, but the rest of us, I mean, you'd hear, oh fuck, because somebody like landed on the roof on their ass because they went and they jumped too hard, or you'd have 1 or 2 guys, they chip a tooth because they land face first, and we weren't graceful. One of the jokes was one of the guys in the neighborhood, this older black guy, he always used to wear this cabbie cap, and he used to have a cigar when he would come down, and like, he knew we were up on the roofs. He'd be like, oh, it's the albatrosses. Because if you ever see back in the day, they would show how those things land. They don't know how to land right, so they constantly fall and like slam all over the ice and shit when they try to land. So that part of the neighborhood, a lot of the older guys used to refer to us as the albatrosses, because you'd hear us banging around up on the roof and shit because none of us knew what we were doing. Good times.
Kind of like when your aunt in Gotham is recording on her roof.
Yeah. Oh, that's hysterical. She was just on the phone before with my mother. I come home. I was going to two-way my mother. I was going to ask her something. I didn't know she was on the phone. I hit the speaker button, and it's like, that fucking cocksucker. I'll cut his hands off. Who the fuck? I'm like, oh, she's talking to her. All right, cool. My aunt's on the phone. I hung up. Hold on. I'll be right back, guys. Give me 1 second. And I'm back. See, that was quick. But yeah, that's wow. I'm thinking about it now. I can't believe that was like, good God, that's got to be 28 years ago. Wow. That's scary, isn't it? Can you believe that 28 years ago?
I can't.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Bro, I was your age when I was doing that crazy shit. That's what I'm saying. I was younger than you, I think, actually. We started going off doing that nut job shit when I was probably like 12 years old. Yeah, 12, 13 years old, and we're getting ourselves killed.
Oh, well, that's what we do when we're young.
Yeah, young and stupid. I'll be honest, like compared to like what some of my friends were doing at that point, like one of the big things they would do in the neighborhood is they would go onto the rooftops of like the different school buildings, and they would go up and they'd stand on the air conditioner units and they start stomping on them to knock the air conditioners down. Air conditioner would fall 2, 3 stories. It would shatter on the sidewalk, and then the other guys waiting downstairs, they would scoop up all the copper and platinum out the air conditioner. Like I think I told you, another thing a few of the guys in the neighborhood did, they would get you go and you get a steak, and you take a razor blade and you put slices in the steak, and you take like 2 or 3 Zanny bars and you break them up and you put them in the steak. You throw the steak over the fence, and they would wait. They come back like an hour later, and the dogs are passed out because they ate the steaks full of Xanax. And they would go up into the auto yard, and they'd have the sawzalls with them, and they'd cut the alternators right out of the cars because of the platinum inside of them. So that's part of the reason I hung out with the people I hung out with, was because everyone else in the neighborhood was out doing crimes. And I didn't want to hang out with any dirtbags who were robbing shit. Like, I remember it happened even to my father, which really annoyed me. A couple of the guys in the neighborhood, they got their hands on pickups trucks because they were doing, like, detailing businesses. They have power washers. And they go home at night, and they take the power washers and all the equipment out of their trucks, and they go and they rob the boat yards. They take everything. They take the satellites off of the boats. They take the sonar, the fish finders. They take everything, the TVs, the radios. One guy I knew, and this is back, I want to say in '96. This guy probably made $20,000 or $30,000 in swag in one summer, just because all the shit he stole. He hit every boatyard. I think they finally got him because he got a little bit cocky with it. He went out and he was robbing the anchorage out in the Hamptons. And when he got pinched out there, we're like, oh, he's fucked. They're going to throw the book at him. The one thing you don't do is rob the rich people. I don't mind if you rob other poor people, but once you start robbing rich folks, they get a little bit pissed off at that. So, any of you guys got anything going on or what?
Nah.
Don't all jump at once.
I don't really have anything going on except, like I said, when I get done here, going and sewing.
All right, cool. Well, the reason I'm asking, because what time did you start? Like 9 o'clock?
Almost 9:20.
All right. No, because we're at 11:11. I don't know when you want to kill it, because I know that I know you got to sew. You got a lot of sewing you got to do. I don't want to keep you from that. It's not like I'm trying to kick everyone off. I'm just saying, like I have no idea because I showed up late because of the damn dog. And I can only be so entertaining.
Oh god, this fucking thing is screaming for help.
What is it?
The PlayStation.
Oh,
But no, Scoob, it's up to you. This is your show. I just started it because, it's your night. You deserve to have your show. You haven't had it in a while. And what was it? Last week you graciously gave it to me so I could have monochromatic black on.
yeah. Well, you're one of my best friends, and the guy who is the guitarist of the band is one of my best friends. One of my best friends that don't exist, according to certain manlets. But yeah, it was a give and take. It was for the both of us, and let's be completely honest. I've been busy as hell. This computer, I already crashed twice on this stream because of this jalopy of a computer I got. God willing, I'll be coming into some money probably in the next month, and I'll have the new computer hopefully and have it up and running. And
Good, you can fly me out for that damn Boston thing.
Hopefully, if I got enough bread, yeah, because I want to definitely. You and Burnside are coming here, and we're going to spend a few days together, and then we're going to go to Boston for that.
Tell you, I'll do research on how much it's going to cost.
Yeah.
What's in Boston?
A bunch of loudmouth Antifa assholes, and there's also going to be that, the Straight Pride Parade.
Yeah, I don't want chemical burns.
I ain't worried about any of that shit. Like, I'll be completely honest with you. Any of them come near me with anything, they better pray the cops pull me off of them. I'm not kidding. Somebody comes at me and they throw anything at me, I don't give a flying fuck if it is acid, and I start burning. The adrenaline, I'm not going to feel that. Until they throw acid on my arm and it starts burning, I'm going to grab their face and start rubbing it on my arm.
Ooh.
Seriously, I'm going to use their freaking flesh to... Okay, you wanted to... Come here, asshole. Give me your hair.
You're gonna have to rip off their mask and goggles to do that.
It'll go right through it.
Yeah, their mask and goggles, bro. I'll start punching their goggles into their face. Seriously, if you're watching this and you're one of them friggin' hairbags up over in Boston, you'd think, don't come near me. You see this shit? Yeah, you see this? Don't come near this guy, because I'll tell you right now, if I got a rental car and you come, I'll get in the rental car. I'll run you the fuck over. You throw anything on me. You understand me?
Okay,
Don't come near me.
2.0.
No. Charlottesville. You see that guy? He did. I seen that, and they actually had the balls to throw the cops on this guy. No, let me tell you something. If that was me, I would have been doing donuts. I don't care what the politics are of the person who went after me. Like I showed some of Burnside's. I showed the kids the other day the video from the movie Hoffa, and the guy comes up to him and he goes like this because it's during the riots and somebody shot at Hoffa, and he goes like this. He's like, "So, Mr. Hoffa, does this have to do anything with this and that and the third?" He's like, "Yeah, it has nothing to do with any of that. These cocksuckers shot at me. We're going." Basically the same thing. If I go to Boston, I'm there to cover shit as a journalist. It's all good, but you come at me, you want to get friggin' look. I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, I'm not here for that. Minute it gets physical, I'm gonna end it as fast as I can. I mean, look, I'm not gonna type. I'm not gonna sit there and try to, be heroic and try to box your ass and like we're gonna friggin' street fight. No. I'm gonna take you down as fast as possible. It's probably gonna be messy and painful. I'm not going there to brawl. I'm going there specifically as a journalist to cover shit. They want to come and they want to brawl. They're in for a rude fucking awakening because I'm not about to go up there and fight with nobody. I got a feeling too that because I'm going there, there's gonna be at least one or two assholes who are gonna decide to come and
I
look
don't care. Fuck
for
off.
me exactly.
I don't care. Fuck off.
And that's the thing that I'm not so much concerned about. I just know it's going to be an irritating headache because I just know people are going to roll up on me and it's not going to be what they expect when they see me, and it's just how it's going to be. And I'm not in the mood for this nonsense, like this internet drama shit that these people are bringing to my doorstep. I don't fucking care. The fuck on. I haven't been addressing these people for months now. It's been a fucking solid year, specifically because they ain't shit to me. I got my stream mates, got the stream. We're doing our thing. Burnside's been busy with work right now. Kelt, you're doing your thing that you've been busy with. Terra's sewing up a storm trying to get money together to get up to Boston. Shit's been hard. Rich, God bless him. Rich is doing the best. He's got all these commissions now, all these people. That's part of the reason I'm trying not to badmouth too many people because I know Rich has, he does business with a lot of these folks, and I don't want to shit on his business. Which is what some of these people who are having problems with me should stop and think for a minute. Like, I understand that you people are bags of shit. I'm not going to tell this young man not to deal with you because, you know what, you're putting coin in his pocket. He can figure that out for himself, and he's a smart kid. I have faith in him. But I'm going to say this to all of you right now. I find out any of you guys do this kid any dirt or screw him over specifically just to get back at me, I swear to Jesus, I'll find you and I'll dye you as orange as the president. Seriously.
You might need to mash up some sweet potatoes for that.
Yeah, right? I don't mean, like, I understand, like, a lot of these younger people, they talk, oh, you're being a white knight. Nah. The way I was raised, I'm the type that'll stand up for other people because I'm hoping other people stand up for me. And that's the way it is. Like, I'm one of those people, I don't need somebody to stand up for me, but I want people to stand up with me. And I'm the type of person, if I say something for you, I'll stand up with you. I'm not standing up for you. I'm not saying that you can't handle it yourself, but I'm just saying, if it's something wrong, I got your back. And that's all. So, anyone who says, Scooby, you're being a white knight standing up for people, no, I'm standing up with them. They just ain't got up yet. I'm the first one on my feet, that's all. Seriously, I'm sick and tired of this white knight shit. You know who says that white knight garbage? A punk who knows he's about to get picked up by a scalp and shook. That's who says that white knight shit, because they know that they're the ones that are getting the finger wagged in their face. Like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? I don't believe in that shit when they say somebody's being a white knight. You know what? If you see something wrong, you know, we got a saying around here in New York because our shit got blown up. If you see something, say something. And that's the way I am. I'm sorry, if I see something wrong, I'm gonna call it. And that's the only way I can put it. It ain't being a white knight. It's just do the right thing. You know, you see somebody, you know, they're sitting there, they're hungry and they're cold. For God's sake, get them a sandwich and a blanket. It's not enabling. They're cold and hungry. You see them the next day and they're doing the same thing. And then you say to them, hey, look, you got somewhere to go? Somebody to take care of you? But seriously, they had something on the news about 10 years ago now up here. An NYPD officer seen somebody and the guy was, you know, shaking and cold and hungry. So the cop got him a jacket, a blanket, and a sandwich. And I was annoyed that this was news. And people said to me, what, you're annoyed the cop did it? I said, absolutely not. I applaud him for doing it. You'd think the way that the newscasters around here were reporting the story, it was like the second coming of Christ. That's supposed to be common. If you see somebody suffering, you're supposed to help your fellow man. You don't just let them suffer. What the fuck is the matter with these people? You see somebody picking on somebody else, and that's part of the reason I bounced when I was younger. Because I was a big guy, and I did not like people picking on other people. I was specifically there to stop that from happening. I wasn't a bully. I was there to stop bullying from going down. And, you know, that's a lot of the shit that I see people doing on here. It's because they hide behind their computers and their keyboards. And they like to get together as a group, and they like to go after people. And this is the thing. Go after me till the cows come home. I'm not going to capitulate. I'm not going to bow. I'm not going to kiss no brass ring. And that's just the fact of the way it is. And these folks, they want to sit here and they want to try to push me around, and it doesn't work. And then they go to push around other people. That's why I say they're punks. Punks. You got a problem, you come at me correct. If I tell you go kiss off, well, it wasn't meant to be. I don't, you know, it's not something that I should have to explain to people, but apparently you have to. I'm not saying this just for you guys. I'm not saying this for the friggin' the haters that we got watching. I'm saying this for the folks who are watching who are just like, what's this guy about? I'm telling it for them, like, yo, this is how I am. People don't like me because of that. They don't like hearing the truth. I'm going to be honest to people. I'm not going to lie. I don't like lying. Makes you feel dirty. I try to be as honest as possible.
Keep up with all the lies.
Huh?
So plus you have to keep up with all the lies.
I'm not good at that.
Me either.
Seriously. How often have I told you, and you know it's legit shit, Tara, how often have I told you stories about, like, family members or something, and I have to ask you because I don't remember. And that's, like, my actual shit that I lived. Can you imagine if I started fabricating stuff? My God, I'd have to keep notepads.
Yep.
Nah. I'm sorry, it's not worth it. It's not worth lying to people about. Seriously, like somebody asked me like a week or two ago if I knew somebody, and it caused me a whole lot of trouble, and I told them. I said I could have lied to you and told you I don't know the person, but I'm not going to bother lying, because once you start lying, you can't stop. Why the hell would I lie? You know? I was talking to somebody, and they're like, you know, people can look into the shit that you're saying when you say it on the internet, and my response was, yeah, I know that. That's part of the reason I don't lie about it. I know that they can find it out. It's stupid. You don't lie about shit on the net. People will find out. There are guys out there and girls and people who identify as kumquats or whatever the hell they are. There are people out there who got nothing else to do but fuck with your life because Santa didn't give them that Hess truck they wanted for Christmas. Who the hell knows what's wrong with them? But they got some sort of heart on, and they're going to wag it at you. So you got to think about that at all times. That's the way I look at it. I don't know. I didn't come on here looking for drama. It found me, apparently, for whatever reason. My accent, my heritage, my ethnicity, my looks, of all things.
Because somebody didn't give them a chia pet.
Yeah, it could be that, too. Could be that pet rock, I don't know, ran away from home. Who knows?
It pissed on the floor.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I'm done trying to psychoanalyze these people. It's not worth my time or effort. I'm not going to knock myself out. It's one of those things. I really hate saying this, but the vibe I get from a lot of these people, like, what's his face? I can't remember his name. Oh God, I'm drawing a blank. Don't tell me. AP, that's his name. Like with the guy AP, it's like notice me senpai. That's all he should write to me over and over is notice me senpai, because that's what he's trying to do. And this is the thing. I don't know what it means to you guys when he's saying notice me senpai. I'm thinking to myself, I haven't been in jiu-jitsu in years. What the hell is he talking about? But I understand what they're saying, you know, and it's one of those things like, I don't care. I'm not interested in these people. I'm not interested in this shit, and I'm not interested in what they talk about. Like, people keep telling me I got to look up this person's stream and that person's stream. When I tell them I don't watch it, they're like, what do you mean you don't watch that person? Like, I don't watch streams. I don't know who any of these people are. Like, you know, when I talked to Magog that one time after we both streamed for about a good hour or so. I wasn't aware that all these people worshipped him, and he was going to VidCon and all that shit. Strike me as a nice enough guy, and I'm surprised he not knocking Magog. I'm surprised he got as big as he did with these sorts of people, because apparently they tear down anything different, and he's got a unique shtick going on. And I'm not knocking him either. I'm just saying it. I'm surprised he got as big as he did. That these people, they seem to just go after anybody that's new. So, you know, it's. But my point is, like, I talked to him, and I've talked to a few of these other folks. I'm not going to start name dropping, but I just wanted to emphasize, like, when I was talking to him, he seemed normal. A lot of these folks that, you know, that I talk to, they strike you as normal. You know, you talk to them, but then, why are they friends with all these fucking nuts? That's the thing I can't comprehend. I've talked to so many people on here who strike me as normal. They're here for, you know, a reason different than mine. A lot of the folks that are on here, they are looking to do something to supplement their income or, you know, whatever. Me personally, making friends like you guys was, you know, that was just, it was a happenstance. It wasn't a plan. My whole thing was, you know, this is before Ocasio-Cortez got elected. I was screaming and yelling how they were going to elect a communist in my neighborhood. I was yelling about my governor being mafioso, and he's going to try to turn the place into a commie shithole. And oh, look, it all happened. Because while I've been sitting here screaming about this shit, I've had to have the entire internet line up and say, "Well, Scooby, we can't have you on because you say the mean words." And my state is slowly slipping into being the bookend equivalent of California, the other third world nation in this country, and people are worried about me being an asshole. I don't care about anyone's feelings at this point. My concern and what brought me here is the reason I rock this fucking hat and I use this avatar is specifically I'm concerned about the country. That's why I'm here. That's why I went to D.C. It wasn't like I was going down there for a picnic. I went down there to fight with Antifa. It's the same thing. I went down there for that. I went down there to give a speech. It's the same thing when I came on here. It's specifically. Now, when I say fight with them, I don't mean physically accost them in fisticuffs. I mean specifically you're going to sit there and argue with these guys. You got barricades between these, you yell. It's the same thing on here. Am I looking to get into any violent confrontations? No, not particularly. Do I say shit? Well, fuck yeah. I got people sending me pictures of my mother telling me if I don't do what they want, they're going to friggin' hurt her, and they're threatening my wife in the same breath. They're telling me that they're going to do shit to my wife. How the fuck am I supposed to react when I get things like that? This has been going on for a year. The things with the picture of my wife, my mother, this was just the newest thing, and my wife. I forgot. I got sent a picture of my wife, too. You know, it's one of those things where if you're trying to get me to play ball, you're going about it the wrong way. You know, you get more flies with honey than vinegar. I'm on the air, please. You know, the thing of it is, and this really annoys me, really, really annoys me, is it wasn't enough. They couldn't just say to me, look, we don't like you. We don't want you on anymore. They had to make it a point where I couldn't come on here with anybody. And when I say they had to make it a point, they've, from what I understand, been threatening people blackmailing people, extorting people, shunning people, ostracizing. They've done everything except put a flaming cross on somebody's lawn to get them to not stream with me. I mean, I don't understand. What is the point? What is the end game of all the effort? I'm obviously going to ignore them and keep streaming. And they're still spending copious amounts of energy and getting nothing back in return. I don't know if at this point it's the matter of the fact of the matter, the principle of the thing. That's the reason they keep going at it. But for the record, look, I'm not going anywhere. Trying to get me to leave is not going to work. All it's doing is pissing me off and stealing my resolve. Sorry, assholes. I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but it's a heat wave. I'm pouring sweat, and this dog keeps jumping on me.
How about we end the show?
All right, yeah, that would be very cool. Patch, get the fuck out of here. How much you gonna eat, fat boy?
All right, I got nothing to show. Everybody go donate to Rich at Art. Get him to, draw you some shit, but yeah, give him money.
Oh,
Yep. And
I need money.
I'm just letting everyone know right now, I actually am going to be upgrading this outfit probably sometime this fall, because I'm going to be trying to also upgrade. I'm going to start trying to produce videos regularly again. I think I told you guys the bunker where I was filming actually, it had a lot of problem with the homeless guys in it, and it was condemned. I think I told Terrorists and Burnside probably back in May they condemned the friggin' thing in the beginning of the season. So, I haven't been able to use the bunker, but get the hell out of here. But I'm probably going to be able to use it hopefully this summer at least once or twice, just so I can go in and get all my flags and shit and move them out. I might actually be starting to film videos around here, like in the house. In like maybe I got the storage area in the basement. Get the hell out of here, Patches, that I could use. And this fat dog, he just had a steak too while I was on. You guys seen me give it to him. You fucking four-legged wino. Get lost. But yeah, I'm gonna be having some new videos. I'm gonna be cutting. Just basically editorial opinion pieces like I was doing before. But the reason I'm tying this to what Rich's art specifically is I'm going to be sending Rich pictures of what the outfit looks like when I have it together. And basically what I was doing is I was going to let you, if you want, like take stills out of the videos. And if you want to like put together like, I don't know, pictures of it or whatever, because what I was going to do is like if you can, like whatever stills you think make the best shots, I was going to put those on like Redbubble shirts and sell them specifically with links to your shit, so people know who did the artwork. Patches, I swear to God, I'm going to make a hat out of you. Get out of here.
No, just ship him to me and he'll be quite happy.
Heaven forfend. You're giving Daddy the dirty look because I said I was going to make a hat out of you, that fat boy? Right here, really quick. I'm going to let you say hi to everybody.
Hi, Patches.
Okay, you good there? You gonna behave now? Okay, good, behave. There we go. Yeah. So basically, yeah, the videos I got coming up. Once I got the new outfit, I'm gonna send it to Rich. Some still shots and anything. Because I know Rich has got a lot of stuff he's gonna be doing right now. But yeah, bro, definitely. Anything, like if you feel any sort of inspiration, like, yo, I can make a sick picture out of this, do it up, man. I'll make posters, whatever you want. I'll sell them on Redbubble, and I'll have all the links going straight to you. Like, yo, this is the man. Seriously, so.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I know you got tons of projects. God bless. Seriously, I'm glad you do. The best thing that I would want to hear from you right now is if I gave you a picture and you said to me, Scoob, I can't wait to get on this for you, but bro, it's going to take me at least 10 months because I'm booked solid. That would be the best news I could hear from you. Seriously. Not that I don't want you to do the thing for me, but I don't want you to say, yeah, I got tons of time, I can do all this for you. I'd rather you say, I got so much work, I'm so busy, people are hitting me up right and left. I want to hear that from you, Rich. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear that you got work out the ass. Seriously, man.
Good.
It's just my nature. You do great work, kid. I want to make sure that you go far.
Shit! No! Oh, this is right.
All right, I'm gonna kill the show now.
Good night, all.
everybody.
Have a great night, guys.
Good night, you bastards.
Take care.